Hello, my name's Rupert Hujev and I'm the Chairman and Chief Researcher of the Hurun Report. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about this new list that I put out on the Metaverse. Now, probably since about October last year, when Facebook changed its name to Meta, the Metaverse topic, in Chinese you call it the Yuan Yuzhou, has become mainstream amongst all the entrepreneurs, especially the younger entrepreneurs. Everybody's woken up to the fact that big business is now looking at the metaverse and exploring how to make real money out of it. And I was looking up earlier on, in fact, when I started this list, that the metaverse actually has been around. It's been for 30 years. It was coined by an American author called Neil Stephenson in a book called Sea Crash. And then since then, we've had films like The Matrix, or more recently, Ready Player One, and that have sort of led us to imagine a bit of what the metaverse might potentially look like. Nobody really knows where it is going as of today yet. But for me, it was really in March last year, that's 2021, that I understood the value potentially of the metaverse, because there's an American gaming company called Roblox, and it went public to a valuation of $40 billion US. Now that puts it straight up into the top 500 in the world. I mean, very, very serious numbers, but it did it on a sales of only, inverted commas, but by that standard, only $400 million US. Now that's never been done in the history of the world as far as I've worked out. A company with a valuation of that number with such a minuscule, comparatively speaking, sales figures. And this sort of shows again that there's a huge amount of money now being thought about in this virtual reality world called the metaverse. And that's why we're putting out the list today. So I'd like to say thank you very much to our partners. And it's the Guangzhou City District called Nanshan that has partnered with us. And we're just releasing the event, this list today at the China Metaverse Forum that we're holding with them. And the idea was that we're going to put out originally a list of the top 200 companies most active in the metaverse in China. But having called around a few people who run some of these very big companies, and I was really surprised that most of these companies don't really recognize that they're doing metaverse, or even if they're doing it, they don't really have a proper department on the metaverse yet. And so we changed the name from to being the companies with the greatest potential from China in the metaverse. And so there's a 200 list there. We broke them down to top 20, top 50, top 100, and top 200. And there's also a few future stars. And for the top 200, we only took companies that had a market cap or a valuation of over $1 billion US. But for the future stars, they could be up to $1 billion US just in terms of valuation. The definition of the metaverse and exactly what to include and what not to include actually was quite complex. I won't go through it all here, but it was quite a lot of work to try and dig it out. And basically what we ended up with was a long list of about 1,000 companies that we then sort of whittled down gradually over the last couple of months to 200 companies, which is the list today. And where they're based tells a story of how they're growing, which cities are paying attention to the metaverse. It's Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hangzhou, and Guangzhou. What sectors are these companies in today? And that's also worth looking at, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's a fantastic a starting point, I should say. For those of you who are really into the metaverse, nothing to learn here. But on the other hand, for those of you who would like to get into this metaverse and looking for a way to get in, this is a very good way to start. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you again to our partner, the Guangzhou City Government, Nanshan District, and I look forward to getting your feedback and actually hearing much more and learning much more about the metaverse myself as well. Okay, and thank you very much from the Realverse. Bye-bye.